There are two kinds of people. The people who love credit cards and the people who love debit cards and actually hate credit cards. But then there's the third person. And this third person is a little bit dangerous to the banks and the credit card companies. And in this video, I'm going to explore why I'm one of the third people and what banks don't want you to know. See, it's not just apples to apples when it comes down to comparing a debit card to a credit card. These things are kind of different animals in a sense. And if you're not careful, you can get yourself caught up in a trap. So very basics before I get to what I've been up to is the fact that a debit card is just like, writing a check. You go out, you swipe your card, and it gets pulled out of your checking account, your bank balance. Now, a credit card, that's like having a balance, a rotating balance that you would pay off in full every month. And the key is paying it off in full every month. Now, the biggest thing I get between this is the fraud protection. Surprisingly, a debit card does have the same fraud protection as a credit card, but I gotta tell you something honest. I mean, I had a debit card years ago, and I got caught where somebody stole my debit card number. They used it for all these purchases, and I had to wait 1 week for my money to get back into my checking account. And during that time, I couldn't spend any money because they literally emptied out my bank account and I had to wait for the fraudulent charge to be rectified to get my money back. Now, see the difference with a credit card. If you have that fraudulent charge, you just don't use the credit card and you still have money in your bank. But beyond all that, let me get to the exciting part of what the banks don't want you to know when it comes down to using your credit card as if it's a debit card. And this is where a lot of people, the third people, as I mentioned earlier, are really taking advantage of credit card rewards. Now, these are rewards that you simply get for things in your everyday budget. Let me give you a great example. Here is one of my cards that I use. It's an American Express card, and what's nice about this particular one is it gets me 6% cash back anytime I use it at a grocery store. Now check out what happened here in July of 2023. All of my activities, which were already budgeted, these aren't things I'm just going out and frivolously buying, but they were in my budget, and I made a total of $51.56. So that's like a refund or extra money that I'm making for purchases I'm already gonna get anyway. So if I use a debit card, of course, I'll pay for all the things that I wanna get. But if I use a credit card, I'll still pay for all the things I wanna get, but I'll get an additional, in this case, $51 in cash back. You can see my total reward dollars that I'm saving up for Christmas is $854. I also have another credit card I use. You can see this one here is a travel rewards credit card, and I have 93,000 points. Now again, these are purchases that are budgeted, but now what we're doing is we're actually planning out a trip for my family. We're a family of 4 to actually travel over to Europe, and we're gonna have a great family vacation, and I'm saving up my points to make this as close to free as possible. Imagine having a free vacation for just following your everyday budget. I've been doing this now for 3 years, and I've been using a tool for well over 10 years that I can't wait to share with you today, and how you can actually maximize to use this credit card like a debit card and reap the rewards. There are a lot of people out here doing it, but there's a lot of people out here that do it and they mess up. And I want to help you ensure that you don't mess up, because this fact is where we get a little bit tied up. Take a look at this. This is the total outstanding credit card balances from 2008 to present. If we look here in 2023, it's kind of at an all-time high, well over $1 trillion in outstanding credit card balances. Now, that is what we're trying to avoid. We do not want to carry a credit card balance, because if we carry a credit card balance, which means that you rack up money on your credit card and you don't pay it off at the end of the month, what could happen is you get charged interest. That interest can be very, very expensive, anywhere from 14% to 22%. Who wants to pay that? Nobody. And that's the critical piece that we want to avoid. We want to earn those cashback rewards. We want to earn those trips. We do not want to pay money to the credit card companies. And you can kind of start to see where I'm getting at here of why they don't want you to know this information. Because if you know this information and you avoid the debt, they don't get money. That's how the credit card companies are making money off of you, is through your interest rate debt. We're going to avoid that. Now, there's a couple ways you can do it. The easy way is to say, I'm going to use travel rewards cards and I'm going to use cashback rewards cards. And then what I'm going to do is basically pay them off at the end of the month. There's a little bit of danger I see in that. And that's for the people that may go out and let's say you're using your card and everything, and maybe in the back of your mind, you're not actually tallying it all up correctly. Then the bill comes and you're like, oh man, my credit card statement is $1,200. In my checking account right now, I only have $1,000. So where am I getting the other $200 to pay off this credit card in full? Oh no. So you're faced with a choice, right? Do you just pay it off to $1,000 and then carry that $200 over? Or do you find a way to find an extra $200? That's a big mess because that extra $200 the next month will come with an additional fee of interest. We want to avoid that. So here is what I've been using to maximize everything you just saw in my cashback rewards as well as my travel rewards, pay off my credit card in full every single month. And I've been doing this without fail for the last 3 years simply by using a transaction register. So this actually started back in 2008. I started this thing on Microsoft Excel because quite frankly, I got sick and tired of using like these things. Do you guys remember this? Like, you know, the checkbooks, like transaction, like you had to write it in. That just feels kind of old school to me. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this and put it on Microsoft Excel, and then I'm going to put it on Google Sheets, and I'll use it that way. That way I can use it on my phone, I can use it here on the computer, and I can accurately track all of my different expense flows. So as you see right here, this is an example of one of my transaction registers. And what I'm doing every day, or at least maybe once a week, is I come in here and I put in my expenses. Right down here, you can see my bank balance is at $675. Now that's not actually accurate. If you go into my checking account, I actually have more than $675 in it. But it's because I'm treating my credit cards like a debit card. So the only thing I care about is not what my checking account is actually saying, but what this thing right here is saying. And here's the beauty of it. As you see right over here in column A, do you see all these different abbreviations? SAPH, that stands for Sapphire Preferred. That's my Chase Sapphire Preferred card. You can see here Amex, that stands for my American Express card. So what I'm doing is as we go out, I'm going to point out this one as an example. I got gas for my car and I use my American Express because it gives me 3% cash back on any gasoline that I buy for my car. So I went through, I coded it as transportation, and that's a total of $68. Now, what I'm going to do at the end of the month, I'm going to get that statement from American Express, and then I'm just going to make sure, okay, everything on my American Express account should match everything I put into my transaction register. And if that's the case, then I'm going to check it off and pay off my credit card in full. Do you see the secret of that? Because what you're doing is you're saying, oh wait, I only have $675. That is what it is. And you live and breathe by that. And then that way you don't have to worry if you overspend or underspend or whatever. You're just using your credit card as if it's already pulling out of your checking account. Then at the end of the month, you balance it, you pay it off, and you're done. Here's exactly what I do. I come up here to the top and I click here and I click on Amex. Now, what it's doing is it's filtering only American Express payments, okay? Only things that I bought on American Express cards. Then, do you see this little column right here that says F? And it has all these little Y's. That basically is telling you that I already looked at the statement and I checked it off as yes, it is balanced, everything's good, the right amount is in here, we're good, we're 100%. That's exactly what I'm doing. So come to the end of this month, I'm going to get another statement. I'm going to filter this to all my Amex transactions, and I'm going to go through here and say, okay, OpenAI, I got my ChatGPT going, yes. I got some money. Yes, we went out to the bar. We spent that much. Yes, we went out to Publix. Great. And then at the end of that, pay it off and be good. Same deal with the Sapphire Preferred. Same deal with any other credit cards that I add. So now I'm getting the fraud protection of a credit card. I'm getting the rewards from the credit card. And I'm almost foolproof to guarantee that I don't have to worry about carrying a balance and accidentally overspending on the credit card. It's all budgeted. Now, I've been using this transaction register that I built originally back in 2008. It was featured here on the channel before, but now I'm offering this, which is version 2.0, the ultimate transaction register. Now, it does come with a small little charge, and the price will be going up, but you can check out the link in the description below. If you want to get the ultimate transaction register for yourself, here's what you get. You'll be able to do exactly what I shared with you today as far as tracking your credit cards, but you also get the opportunity to look at the home screen. Check this out. This actually calculates all of your different spending by the year, by the month, and everything that you can customize based on your own personal finance journey. So if you have a special category you want to track, you want to see how much Starbucks you're actually buying every month, you can do it here in the transaction register. Here's a great example. From August 1st to August 31st, so far in groceries, I spent a total of $1,314. We're a family of four, groceries is expensive, whatever, but that allows me to track to say, okay, what I actually spent, is it in line with my budget or not? this is all automatically calculated. So you can check it out, link in the description below. But if you don't want to buy it, I will give you the formula that I used for this to automatically calculate what your ongoing bank balance is. I'll drop that down below. This will work with either Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel. Totally your call if you want to use that. Or if you want the ease of it, you can get this delivered to you either in a Google Sheet format or a Microsoft Excel format to make your budgeting a little bit easier. Just remember the cardinal rule. You never go into debt and you never carry a balance. Because after all, if you're going to use credit cards for the fraud protection and most importantly for the rewards, you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. The best way to do it is to actively track it. Be a little bit nerdy. Have a little bit of fun with it. Use it on your phone if you want, but always keep track. So that way you know, do I have enough money to actually afford this before I swipe that credit card? If you found this video helpful, drop a like. Check out this video next. We'll see you on the next video.